I don't know. What am I saying? Who are you? What's your name?
I don't know.
What do people
I don't know.
need to know?
Maybe we should go and listen to other podcasts and see how they start. Hello, welcome to Le Pod. It's a brand new podcast we're going to be putting out from down here in the basement of Le Pub twice a month. We're going to be talking to our staff, our community, local bands, local artists, and anyone we think is interesting.
Yes, welcome to episode number 4 of Le Pod. And our guest today is our first kind of foray away from music, exclusively music. He's very well versed in the land of music and the music industry, but at the moment he's making waves in other areas. He is a runner, and by that I don't mean that he just occasionally goes for a jog every now and again. He's the real deal. He twice in one weekend broke the Welsh record for the 400 metres. I believe it's the 400 metres anyway. Should have asked him. Maybe he says in the podcast, I don't know. But yeah, twice in one weekend broke the Welsh record. So he knows what he's talking about. But then outside of that, either side of his running career, he's had a pretty legendary run in the music industry as well. He was a long-standing member of, they're a Welsh institution at this point, of Future of the Left. And he's in a band at the moment called the Vega Bodegas. So they're still going, still putting stuff out regularly. Check them out on the usual channels, Spotify and all that jazz. But he's great, and his name, after all that, is Jimmy Watkins. At the moment, he's kind of the face of Running Punks, which is an organisation that kind of combines the ethos and the mentality of punk with running. And he was the co-founder, along with one of his mates, of that organisation as well. And then alongside that, he does a thing that's getting increasing traction and fame, and recently been shouted out by the likes of Lauren Laverne, called his Running Reviews, which is exactly what it says on the tin. He bombs it through the forest somewhere in Llanelli with his headphones on and reviews upcoming releases, new releases, old stuff, anything that he kind of fancies, to be honest, and he reviews it in a completely and utterly unique kind of way. So we talk about that quite a lot as well. Give you a quick heads up that my hidden tendency of just being a magpie for people's accents and just stealing their accents comes out in full force in this episode. Jimmy's from Llanelli. Yeah, that's right, all you non-Welsh listeners. 2 L's make a sound. And I just stole his Welsh accent completely. But I have a fairly prominent Welsh accent, but it just goes up about 12 notches when I speak to him for some reason. So there we are, just thought I'd let you know of that. We talk about a bunch of different stuff. As always, the conversation goes all over the place. Some of the highlights include...
If anybody needs evidence that art and music is the most important thing in the world, they need to expose themselves to all this different type of music. Don't be terrified. That is like never getting on a flight because you don't like bad chairs. You're going to get on a flight anyway because it takes you somewhere nice. That's what Running Punks is. Yeah, I know what my addiction is, so I've stopped, and it's not a watch. It's not. I wish it was just a watch, but it's not. It's big cold pints of beer.
It really was a fun conversation, so I'm not going to hold you for much longer. Don't want to ramble. Just want to say a quick thanks to everyone that's liked and listened to the previous episodes. Hope you enjoyed them. And if you like this one, if you like what we're trying to do, please like the podcast, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you're feeling particularly generous at this impending Christmas time of year, head over to ko-fi.com. It's coffee.com. I just say it Ko-Fi every single time because that's how it looks in my brain. It's spelled ko-fi.com/pod, and you can send us over a little tip should you feel so inclined. Without further ado, here is Le Pod episode number 4 with Jimmy Watkins. I was worried because last week I was interviewing someone from Oregon, and I had the same thing. I was sitting there waiting for them. I was like, what's going on? Where are they? Turns out I got the time difference wrong. So I was sitting there waiting for them while they were still in bed. So I was like, I'm pretty sure there's no time difference between Newport and Llanelli, but I'll send him a message just in case.
Not in hours, definitely in decades. Definitely in decades.
Definitely in the rest of the world, that isn't it?
Yeah, mate, yeah, it's the 80s here. We think, yeah, we don't know what's going on here.
All good, man. I saw your photographic proof of where you were anyway on Twitter with your scooters. So you're
I thought I'd better prove it.
officially off the hook.
I thought I'd better prove it.
All
Definitely.
good. No worries
Yeah.
at all. How's it going anyway? In general.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm using a shit laptop today, I'm afraid, because I was having problems with my Mac. So
That's all right. No worries.
apologies if it looks and sounds shit, but
We're a
yeah.
DIY punk podcast anyway, so it'll just go along with that aesthetic. So happy days.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to say, just off the bat kind of thing, so I don't fanboy for the rest of the episode. As soon as I saw the running reviews, I was immediately filled with just jealousy. Mainly, I was like, oh, "What an amazing idea! Like, why didn't I think of that? It was just fantastic."
Yeah, it's I honestly can't believe that nobody else has done it. Like honestly,
Yeah.
the idea came. I was walking back from the shop, and I was just thinking, can you imagine reviewing music and running? And then I was like, someone must be doing that. There's got to be someone doing that. So it's like a 10-minute walk. I didn't have my phone on me, and I just got in the house, Googled it straight away, and I was like, no one's doing it. Nobody has done it. So I went out that day and did one. So
That day, I was going to say,
now.
how long from that moment until your first one? But it was that day.
It was kind of like I put a vote up then,
Right.
and it was like Spice Girls album, and I was like, I'm just doing it now. Like it was winning by miles, and I was like, I'm just going to do it now while the idea is still exciting.
In your heart, were you a little bit gutted that the Spice Girls won, or were you like, no, let's do it?
100%, 100%. I can't remember the first vote. It was like a debut album thing. I just Googled like 10 greatest debut albums, and then I just made a list of 4 random ones I'd never heard, and I kind of put Spice Girls on there for a laugh, and then I had like 90% of the votes.
90%. It's probably just mates having you on.
Yeah, so-
to be running to the Spice
Oh,
Girls.
100%, 100%. But yeah, it was good. Oh, I hated it, but I did it.
That's how it all
Survived.
started. So the running reviews, they came before Running Punks. Yeah, is that right?
No, Running Punks started last year.
Okay.
So Running Punks was like me and my mate from school, and we used to be in a band together. We just had this idea. We were just going to call ourselves the Running Punks, like
Just you two, like.
the big hit. Yeah, just like the hairy bikers kind of thing. But we were just going to be the Running Punks. That's what we wanted to do. We just wanted cool T-shirts with like logos on it. And then like we had about 3 T-shirts made, and I did a photo shoot for Runner's World, and I wore like a Running Punks T-shirt for the photo shoot.
Right.
And the photographer was like, "Oh, what's that? That's cool." So I told him, and then Runner's World phoned me and like, "Oh, you didn't mention that during the interview. Can we put a bit about Running Punks in?" I was like, "Yeah, go for it." Like it literally, like it's like a week old, so it's just me and my mate.
Yeah.
And then the magazine went out, and just people were asking us, "Can we get those T-shirts?" And it's like we sold like 50 in the first week or something. It was
Yeah.
just like,
Just from
it
that
was mad.
article.
Yeah, it was mad. It was mad. So like it went quite big really quickly because of the article, and it just kind of died down because we just didn't do anything.
Didn't push it or anything, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like I didn't believe in like a running community. It just seemed like nonsense to me.
Yeah.
But my mate was like, no, it can be a thing. We can do this. So it was like him who just kept on like pushing at it.
Yeah.
I would like forget about it. I would go out running in normal kit and not say anything about Running Punks.
Yeah.
And then it kind of became a lot more serious then when the running review started. That's when
It started to
people were
kick
like-
off, like, yeah.
yeah, people were like, this is cool. Like and it was getting people running, which was really exciting.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we kind of jumped in and talked about both of those things without even really explaining what they are. So, like, your running reviews obviously are self-explanatory in the name, but do you want to just say a little bit about what your running reviews are?
Running reviews, right? So basically, if someone cooks bacon on TV or you watch a video of someone cooking bacon, you can taste it and your mouth starts watering.
Yeah.
I do that, but for music. I describe music to you, and it makes your ears water. So,
That's amazing.
I listen to an album I've never heard before.
Is
So,
that like a rule for a running review? You can't do an album that you've heard before, or?
it is, yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
there's nothing I've done that I've heard before. But
Okay.
I think at the end of the year, I'm gonna have to do a thing where I just run the stuff I love, because
Yeah.
so many people want me to do their bands and they know I love them, and I'm like, I can't do it because at the moment it's stuff I've never heard. So I think maybe like in December we'll just do like a month of like stuff I love,
Yeah.
just like
Jimmy's
a
greatest
festive
hits.
thing. Yeah, a little festive thing. So
But it's
yeah,
got to
at
be
the
pretty
moment,
strenuous though, because like it's not like you're sitting in your office typing away a review. You got to get out there, flip in, do a 10K or whatever, depending on the length of the album, and shout your review the entire way
yeah,
around, kind of thing.
it's like I wasn't aware of the music reaction world at all. You know, the videos
Right,
of
on
people.
YouTube and stuff.
I just wasn't aware of it, and I've kind of experienced that video world like Benjamin Button and going backwards. So like most people start doing it after being a fan of reaction videos, but people are saying like you need to check these other people doing it. So I've been watching a few, and there's a few I really like.
Yeah.
And you know, you get goosebumps when you watch people reacting to music. You're like, oh my god, it's amazing, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I saw one guy, I follow him on Twitter now, and he was moaning about, I've had a real tough day. I did 3 reaction videos today. And I was like, mate, you want to try running? I don't know him. He's never replied to me on Twitter or anything, but it's just like one of them guys. I'm like, I love your stuff. And he just ignores me. So, yeah, cool. So I just thought I'll have a little dig here, see if he bites. But yeah, he just ignored that as well.
No luck yet. One day,
But
that'll be when you've really made it, when you can get some Twitter replies like.
I'll block him then. I'll block him straight away.
So then, running punks as well. What's that? Again, kind of hints towards what it is, but
Yeah.
sum it up, kind of thing.
I'd sum it up. People who just don't feel like they fit in with a normal run club. People who
Yeah.
are kind of, they want to run, but they don't want to come across as really competitive. They don't want people to think that they run in to race. They just run in because it's good for their mental and physical health. That's what running punks is. I mean, me and Rodri, who started it, we were both in bands. So initially, it was about getting people in bands running. That's what
right.
we're really passionate about. And we had this idea where we were going to meet bands as they pass through Cardiff, like on tours and stuff, and offer to take them for runs after sound check or wherever.
Right.
That's what we were. That's like the main thing we wanted to do. That's running punks was just going to be me and him, and we would take bands for runs, and that was just going to be it. But we just found that people in bands, you know, need to be encouraged to run as well. But just people anywhere, people in 9-to-5 jobs, people anywhere need that bit of like punk encouragement. You know, like I know what I'm talking about with running. I've done it professionally. I've done it at a high level. I know what I'm talking about, but I also don't take it seriously. Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of stuff on there online which is really serious about running.
It's a rare combination, isn't it? Like for someone to, like you say, to know what they're talking about, but then to not take it super seriously and to not take it to that intimidating kind of level.
Yeah, totally. You know, like I always put it in this way. I would love to be a DJ, right? I would absolutely love to be a DJ. But every time I Google how to be a DJ, it looks impossible to me. I watch tutorials and I just think this is impossible. I'm not even going to bother starting. Yeah. And I think that running would be like that for some people. They think, oh, look, I do need to exercise. The gyms are closed now. I need to go out and do some running. I'll just have a look at what trainers to wear. You'll Google that and there's about 1 million videos on YouTube and people... Literally. Do you know what I mean? Like people who run ultra marathons telling you about, and it's like, I don't need that. I'm going to do 3 miles around Cardiff or Llanelli. I'm not doing an ultra marathon. So running punks is just cutting all that nonsense out and just saying, look, you can run, you can wear wherever you want. Even now, I'll wear like a tracksuit all day. I'll cut the grass in it. I'll chop some logs for the fire, whatever. And then I'll just go running in it. At the end of the day, I won't even put kit on. So like, it doesn't matter. You can just wear what you want.
And that's
So
the
that,
running
I
punks
think
ethos.
that's the running punks thing. Yeah, you just no nonsense, just get out and run.
I
And
love it.
kind of like the best way to learn about running is to know what's good for you, and you're only going to find that out once you started.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's like buying your music purely based on written reviews without
Right.
listening to stuff and find out what you like. I
Yeah,
think if you
yeah.
go out running, it's like you just you're exposing yourself to loads of different things, and you think, oh, this works for me. Oh, running in the morning is really good for me. So I'll become a morning runner. Oh, if I'm a morning runner, I should probably look at what to eat in the morning for breakfast. I'll have, oh, look, porridge is good. So
Yeah.
it's
Find
like
your own
experience.
path.
Exactly. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah,
Hare
yeah.
Krishna. Find your own path. Definitely.
And it's not like I've spoken to a couple of people about running punks because we were gonna, me and a couple of friends were gonna come to the what's it called, the Cardiff Half Marathon thing that you were gonna do before we
Yeah.
all got put back into lockdown. But a couple
Yeah.
of them, they thought that it was like a bunch of people with mohawks and sleeve tattoos and all that sort of thing. Like, oh no, punks! No, it's not my crowd. So can you just get mainly my brother? My brother's called Josh. So can you call him out by name and tell him that that's not the deal?
Right, Josh. There's nobody. Well, there's two people in running punks I've seen with Mohicans,
Two.
but don't be terrified. That is like never getting on a flight because you don't like bad chairs. You're gonna get in a fight anyway because it takes you somewhere nice. That's what running punks is. Just jump on and we'll go somewhere lovely together, and that lovely place is running and the happiness it brings you.
There it is. Happy days. I
Listen,
appreciate
Josh, all right, just start running with the running punks.
that. You've got zero excuse now. He's been called out by the main man.
I will find you.
I wanted to just expand on what you were saying about the you know what you're talking about, because you really do. So what is your running background?
My running background is that as a kid I tried every sport going, and I didn't like any of them until I landed on running, and I loved it. And within maybe 3 years of taking running seriously, I was Welsh indoor 800-meter record holder.
3
And then
years.
I went to yeah, it was like 3 years of taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And then I went to like the European champs. I ran okay, but that was my first major champ, so I was a bit just like I had
Nervous
a
or
hole
whatever,
in my
isn't it?
shoe. Yeah, I had a hole in my shoe. Like, what's that all about? I should have prepared a bit better.
It's probably because you were out mowing the lawn before you did it.
Yeah. I was out in Madrid cutting people's grass. And then a year later, I did the World Champs. And yeah, I just took everybody by surprise by getting to the final and breaking a Welsh record twice in a weekend in Moscow in
That's
2006.
insane.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and I was the first Brit in, I think it was 25 or 30 years to make a middle distance final in the World Champs. Like since
Never.
the era of Cohen of Eton and all that, basically since the 80s.
Wow.
So yeah,
How did that feel, breaking the Welsh record not once but twice in a weekend?
I loved it. You know what? I loved it because I just kept thinking, when I'm older and if I have kids, I can just say, if you're someone in school and they say their dad is fast, you can tell them there's no way he's faster than your dad. Like it's, it's official. And I remember just thinking that's going to be the coolest thing ever. But I haven't got the record anymore.
Have you
But
not? How long did you have it?
I
Did
think
you
I
keep
had it
track?
like 5 years.
That's not bad, mind. Because some records
Yeah.
are like broken pretty quick, kind of thing. 5 years is
Yeah.
a hefty stint at the top.
I had it for about 5 years, but like I think in the all-time Britain list, I'm maybe top 30 all
Still not
time.
bad,
So
mind. Considering what you haven't
yeah,
competed in how long now?
13 years.
Not bad.
13 years. Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. But
Yeah.
when I first broke the Welsh record, I think I was more excited about the fact that I'd gone through to the next round in the World Championships, because I broke it first time in my heat,
Yeah.
and like just nobody expected me to qualify in my heat anyway, because I had the Olympic champion at the time there, and
Oh, never.
he,
In
he
your
was
heat,
Russian. Yeah, and he was Russian, and we were in Russia running, so it was kind of
hometown
like
crowd and everything.
yeah. So me and him had a photo finish, and we both went through.
Never.
So I was just, honest to God, I was absolutely buzzing because 4 years before I'd watched him on TV, or was it maybe 2 years before I'd watched him on TV winning the 800 in Athens, and he was my hero. He was my hero. Like, I didn't know a lot about him, but I just knew that every time I watched him race, I just thought, this guy is so cool. He would do this thing where his name was Borzakowski, and he would let people open up massive gaps on him on purpose. He would just, he was in, like, what, I'll send you a link to some of his races, just watch him running.
Just to give himself a challenge kind of thing.
Honestly, it's incredible to watch. And he did it in the Olympic final, and you could see the commentators were saying, he's really messed this up, he's misjudged it. And me and my housemate were watching it, and I was like, he's going to win it. I know he's going to win it. So he was my hero. And then I just to line up against him in the first race was insane. It was insane. Crazy. You know, like, I'm a massive music fan, and you meet people you love in music, and they just seem like normal people. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I do love you, but at the end of the day, you're just a musician.
A human like the rest of us, yeah.
Yeah, but I think when you meet someone who is like an athlete like that, I think it kind of transcends it a bit, you know? Like, that picture of Muhammad Ali next to the Beatles, you just think Muhammad Ali just seems on another level of the Beatles. He makes the Beatles look like normal people. And Borzakowski was like that for me. I couldn't stop looking at him. I couldn't stop looking at his legs. It was insane.
Were you next to him on the startup line, or were you at least a little bit further away?
I can't remember. I think
that would have been so distracting.
Yeah, I can't remember where I was. I remember watching him warming up, and I just thought, I've got my own warm-up routine, which I've been using for 3 years, but whatever he does, I'm going to do. And I just copied him. And my coach was like, I've never seen you do this stuff before. Why? And I was like, I'm going to do what he does, because he's the greatest runner in the world. Yeah, I'm doing the same as him. So, I don't know where I was with him in the race, but I remember knowing that he was going to go off slow. So I went off slow with him. And I've watched a ton of his races, and I've never seen anybody go slow with him, kind of running alongside him at the back. But that's what I did. I just ran with him, and then when he went, I just went with him, and we both crossed the line together. And it worked. Like, he was just loving it. He was laughing. He was just like, because that never happened for him. So
to him either,
I was like a cover band of him. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It was like
performing alongside the real thing.
Yeah, it was like supporting Oasis and opening your set with Wonderwall. That's what it must have been.
Did he go on to win? I was
just buzzing about that. No, he came. This is where it gets really bad, right? This is where it gets really bad.
Oh no, what happened?
So he came second in the final, and it was super close, close. A guy called Bungai beat him, a Kenyan. He won the Olympics maybe 2 years after. So
he was the real deal as well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I was gutted for Borzakowski, really gutted, and me and him had a few drinks in the night, which was like awesome. But on the way home, there was a Russian newspaper, and there was a picture of the final on it, and I was in the picture with him. I was like, I am keeping this. And there was a guy traveling with the British athletics team who could read and speak Russian. He was there to do like translating and stuff, because nothing was in English out there. So I just asked him to translate the article, and it says in the article that I cost Borzakowski the gold medal.
Never.
Yeah.
Because you took him out and got him sloshed.
Yes. Well, no. That was after the race. But
that was after. Okay, that's right.
Because when he made his attack, I did it exactly the same time as him, but he was behind me, and I kind of cut him up. And if you watch a video, you see that I do cut him up. And it cost him maybe like half a second, but that half a second would have won him those World Championships. So, he probably hates me now.
In the 800, it's not like you stay in your lane, is it? It's one of those ones where you all merge, is that right?
Yeah, you all merge. Yeah. And it's like, honestly, right, it's so physical. People have told me, when you run a club level, 800 is quite polite and it's good fun. Yeah. But a few people have warned me, like, when you race against the big boys, it's really physical. And I was like, come on, I played rugby like in the valleys. What are you on about?
Yeah.
And it's mad. I've cut my finger open in an 800-meter race. Yeah. It's so physical. There's elbows everywhere.
All in that merge part.
Yeah. Just all the way through the race. There's a lot of talking. Like, people will like say stuff to you while you're running. Yeah. It's honestly it's like stand-up comedy and racing rolled in one and fighting. It's like a night out in Swansea.
I had no idea. You should mic them up. Get them mic'd up. There'll be a whole new entertainment form.
They should definitely do that. Which, if you think about it, is crazy because we're running like 49, 50 seconds for 400 meters,
Yeah.
and we're just mouthing off. We're just mouthing off for each other now and again as well. So it's the perfect training for a running review.
Yeah, true. I was thinking about that though. Like, wouldn't it be? Surely it would be easier, and you'd get like better times if you weren't like shouting these reviews the entire time. It's exhausting even watching it. Like, does it not make you more out of breath or what?
Oh yeah, it makes it harder. It's like a cheap version of altitude training. You know, like you pay thousands of pounds to go to South Africa and train with the air thin.
Yeah, yeah.
I just do it for free. I just do it for free in Llanelli by emptying my lungs with total excitement. Yeah, but I'm not about running fast for Strava.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll post my runs, and I'll have people who will say to me, "You really need to try a run without a camera because you knock like 2 or 3 minutes off." But I'm like, where's the fun in that
anymore? Yeah.
Where's the fun in that?
It's true. Yeah, it's like, go on.
It's like, if a tree falls over in a forest and no one's there, does it make a sound?
Yeah.
It's like if an album is released and I don't shout to it, does it exist?
If a run is done and it's not on Strava, did it happen?
Yeah, exactly.
But you've started this new no, I don't know if it's new. I've only just seen it though. The No Watch Wednesdays thing.
Yeah.
So that's like going out for a run, like not recording it, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, not recording it. I'll be honest with you, I don't do it.
Oh no.
Because, well, we've got these things now called Punk Pioneers, and they're people we really like, and we really like what they post, and we just ask them to do a bit of work for running punks, and we kind of like, we give them kit and stuff like that, and they become
expanding a bit.
Yeah, because I don't want to spend all the time on social media, so it's cool if you got other crazy people who would post for us.
Yeah, makes sense.
He's from Newport, actually. One of the guys, John, it was his idea.
Oh, never.
He never runs with a watch on, and he ran. Oh my god, I thought it was a massive bottle of Jägermeister.
2 litre bottle of Jäger.
Oh. And he ran out in America in like for some university out there. I can't remember now. I think it was in New York. I can't remember. I feel bad for not knowing. But yeah, he doesn't run with a watch on anymore, and he started posting, say, like, No Watch Wednesday. Everybody run without a watch on a Wednesday.
Yeah, so that's how I started.
So, yeah, loads of the punks do it, and it's good for them because some people get really hung up on what they're posting on Strava, but like I don't care. I don't care what I post, and Strava is there just to tell me how far I've run every week.
Right.
That's the only reason I use it, is to be like, oh, hang on a minute, shall I run today? Let me just check what I've done, and then I
keep track of your mileage. Like,
that's the only reason I use it. I sometimes go out the way to post the slowest run possible, or if I stop for a pee, I don't stop the watch. If I see someone and have a chat, I keep the watch going. So yeah, I don't need it.
I'm torn. Like, I like the idea of No Watch Wednesdays. I get it completely. Like, not to be obsessed with. Well, it's like Strava is like a social media platform for running, isn't it? And people get obsessed with that, which obviously isn't healthy. Yeah. But on the other hand, it terrifies me, and not because like I want to put my run on Strava and show off the world, but because like I might have had an achievement that I won't know about. Like, I might have just run a new personal best, and I'll have no idea about it, and that terrifies me a bit. But don't know. I'm torn.
It's I think generally it does more good than bad.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, it would help them not to stop, to just take a break from looking at the watch. But I think if you haven't got a problem with it, with your watch or Strava, then just crack on as normal, I think,
Yeah.
But obviously I would never say that on Running Punk social media.
Just attacked. No watches allowed.
But it's like, my Strava addiction is alcohol. So I don't drink anymore. So I feel like, I don't even drink alcohol. So I'm allowed to wear my watch every day and nobody can tell me otherwise.
Yeah. You got to pick your battles, innit?
Yeah, I know what my addiction is. So I've stopped, and it's not a watch. It's not. I wish it was just a watch, but it's not. It's big cold pints of beer.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that a bit as well, actually. I saw on your Twitter you went, is it 8 or 9 months sober now?
I'm just over 9 months now.
9 months. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And
Yeah,
are
cheers.
you still like going strong, feeling good? Like it's all kind of on
Yeah,
the up kind of thing?
yeah. To be honest with you, it's kind of an easy time to do it because
Right.
when I drunk, I never drank in a house.
Yeah.
The only time I drank in the house was if people were coming over and I wasn't in the mood for visitors, so I just drank. But like, I would never be the kind of person to finish work on a Friday and watch episodes of Friends with a beer like that. What's
Right.
that? I can't be asked for that. I drank when I went out, and I thought that it was like just because I love drinking. That's what I thought for over 10 years. I thought I just love drinking. I love being with my mates.
Yeah.
But when I've taken time off drinking, I've realised that I was drinking because it was like an anxiety thing, and
Right.
I was drinking because I felt uncomfortable in situations when I was out, and I felt uncomfortable. I always had this feeling that I was never interested enough if I was sober.
Right.
So it's been amazing, like to quit doing a lockdown because part of the problem of drinking was going out. So I've got over the fact of going out. Like it doesn't enter the equation anymore. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't actually miss going out. Going out used to make me really anxious. So
Yeah.
it's been like an easy time to do it. I think it'll get hard if like we start doing gigs again or something. That's when
Yeah.
that's
That'll
when
be the
it'll be
real
hard.
test,
But
like.
hopefully by then I would have built up like a good another month or so, and I'd be like, oh, do you know what? I feel so good anyway. It's not even entering the equation. But
What's the point?
things
Yeah.
like things like doing the running reviews have been good for me because it's made me realize, like, and not in a big-headed way, but it's made me realize that I can be quite interesting when I'm not drunk. Like, do you know what I mean? People message me and they're like, oh, I love that idea you had about that album. So I'm like, oh, maybe I can say interesting things when I'm sober. So let's just keep this going. But it was a
Yeah.
real thing. I felt anxious that I was just like a boring guy who, when he was sober. But I know that's not the case now.
Yeah. And the running
So
reviews have highlighted that. Yeah.
yeah,
It seems like it's all
totally,
come
totally.
together for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's rare where someone's putting content out on quite trashy platforms like Twitter and YouTube, but
Yeah.
whichever way you look at it, it's coming from a place where it's good. I mean, you know what I mean? I could put like mushrooms in an elderly person's coffee and film them getting high, but I'm just out running, listening to music, and it's getting people running. It's getting me fitter. It's giving me focus. It's cutting out any anxieties I've been living with for years. So whichever way you look at it, it's good for me and it's good for other people. So it's quite
Everyone's a winner.
rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite rare to be doing something that hasn't got any E numbers in it or it's not fatty. It's just like
This is actually
it's,
good for me.
it's like the internet equivalent of celery. That's what it is. I'm just scattering handfuls of celery over the internet.
I was going to say though that like those people who tell you that like you've actually said something good about this album, they're totally right. Like you've got a great like turn of phrase in some of these running reviews. Like I'm amazed, and I wanted to ask: is it genuinely the first time you've listened to these albums? Like do you plan what you're going to say at all, or is it literally the first time you put it on and it just comes?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture. It's always the first time I've heard the music.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do something where it's quite kind of, I like if it's a band I haven't heard, I usually say, will I be able to understand the lyrics? And if someone says
Right.
no, I'll have a quick look at the lyrics,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
have a quick scan through. But I won't do every single song. What I do is I'll do the first song, the last song, and the middle song, and then I
Oh,
just
okay.
think if there is like a narrative going through this album, I'll get glimpses of it in the first and last song and then in the middle. So
Yeah.
I will quickly scan things like that. I look at song titles. That's about it. Yeah, everything else is just off it, like
So it
just
is
what
your first full run through of the album, like.
yeah. It's always my first listen, but I might have on a few. I'm trying to think of examples now where I looked at the lyrics quickly. Oh, I did Touche Amore
Oh yeah. Yeah.
this week, and I looked at the lyrics for the first song. It was like something that got released as a single, and I looked at the lyrics for that, and I was like, oh, cool, right, this is talking about some cool stuff. And then I just went for a run, and then I was like, I kept thinking about what I'd read, and I was like finding bits. I was like, oh, this kind of ties in with that idea.
Right.
But to be honest with you, a lot of it, of what I say, kind of freaks me out because I'm a massive reader. I will read,
Yeah, you can tell.
I'll have like 3 or 4 books on the go, constantly, and I'll be like caught with an idea or something. So for example, with Touche Amore day, I was reading a biography of Soren Kierkegaard, the Danish philosopher.
Yeah.
And I was like loving his ideas and how he was like the birth of existentialism. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is so cool. And I was thinking, he's quite a rock and roll philosopher, that he would live a normal life and then he would go to Berlin, almost like Bowie would, like to write his books, and then he would come back, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, this guy's really cool, and he hated being around other people. He insisted on traveling backwards on trains. He was like an odd mix
backwards
of...
on trains? Like he would sit backwards, or he made the train go backwards?
he would, so trains were like a new thing. They were a new thing,
right?
I think it was 1842 or something. And he just made a point of always sitting backwards so that he could see where he'd been on a train.
Oh,
and
I see.
Like, for people traveling on trains then, that was like an unusual way to want to travel. It was face the way you're going.
Oh,
I
thought
I just thought, this guy is really...
on the train, like this train's going backwards. Like we're going backwards on this thing.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody, you're going to be late for work. Kierkegaard's rocked up. And I was just thinking, he's like, this guy is amazing. And then I was listening to Touche Amore, and I was like, hang on a minute now. How is this happening? Because there's so much existentialism in this album, and there's stuff that's popping up in this album that I was reading about in that Kierkegaard book. So I was like, this is one hell of a coincidence. So I ran and I was listening to it for a bit, and I thought, I can get a bit of Kierkegaard in here. I can get a bit of, like, I can get some existentialism in it, and it just worked perfectly. So
just
now and again, I'm
looking out for
blown
you.
away how, like, 100%, like, what's already in my head as a thought is amplified with the music. And it's like I said to a few people, the music just acts as like a vessel to attach thoughts to, and it gives me a chance to talk about what's already in my head anyway. And I'm kind of using the music as a way to make those thoughts solid. And I literally form ideas that have been bugging me for a week or so while running into an album now and again. And it's like,
really
how has that happened? And it's like totally. So I'm always amazed. Like, I have people messaging me from the bands I've reviewed saying, you've hit our album like the nail on the head perfectly there. That's amazing how you've done that. And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy, because I think I just listened to your album and it solved a lot of questions I had anyway. So it's mad. And it makes me just realize that real good art, I think, tackles similar themes. And I think particularly with new releases, I mean, we're all connected almost anyway, because we're all seeing the same stuff on social media. So it's a good chance we're all worried about the same things. So, you know, I'm seeing now with new releases that they all just have this sense of anxiety in there and dread. And I'm just amazed to listen to how bands from all over the world, different walks of life, are answering the question of dread and anxiety, and they're all doing it in their own unique way. And it's just blown me away. And it's making me feel really, obviously, like the live music scene is really struggling, but it's really just blown me away how all these artists around the world who are creating stuff on their own are all contributing towards answering the same question. And it's just amazing for me. And I think it's absolutely mind-blowing. I
was reading something the other day that said how good art makes things that are super subjective seem universal. Like that we're all going through it together, even though it's our own kind of unique versions of what we're going through. Art kind of all together for us, Yeah,
totally. It's just, I don't know, I found it really like moving in a way. I'll finish some runs and I'll just be so amazed that like a hardcore band from America will have something in common with a female punk band from London, and they'll be talking about the same things. And I just like, this is amazing. If anybody needs evidence that art and music is the most important thing in the world, they need to expose themselves to all this different type of music and find out how it's answering the universal questions which are bothering all of us. They are doing it. They are challenging things that politicians are not, like newspaper journalists are not. They are talking about stuff which at the end of the day is dealing with what's it like to be a human now. And they are doing it in a way which is cool. And it helps you run, it helps you sweat, but they
And
are challenging.
entertaining as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you know what I mean? I could watch an episode of Coronation Street and an episode of, I don't know, wherever's on Netflix trending, and they'll be about totally different things. It's
Yeah.
just different, and it'll make you see the world in a different way. But music, I think, it's just I don't know, it's like whittling away our consciousness so we can all focus on what's important. So
Yeah. I think
you know,
you've combined two of really important things as well. You've got like the cathartic nature of music, like we were just talking about, combined with the endorphins that you'll get from a run. Like you must be on top of the world at the end of a run, like the running reviews. So it doesn't surprise me that you feel that way.
yeah, I feel kind of euphoric for it. Like
Yeah.
for the rest of the day, it just sets me up, and I can't, yeah, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's just a good experience doing it and getting people's reactions from it. It's just, yes, it just makes you feel nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else, but I totally forgot it. I was
That's
going to say something else, but I totally forgot it.
Well, before we move on, anyway, I wanted to play a quick game, right? From what we were saying, the turns of phrase that you use in your running reviews. So I've got 5 or 6 of what I thought was the best lines that you've come up with in your running reviews. And then I've got 5 or 6 lines from just random philosophers and like music reviewers and stuff. And your aim is to work out whether you said it or someone else said it. A philosopher said it, right?
Awesome, let's do it.
And then you get bonus points if it was you. You get bonus points if you can remember what you were talking about, what album you were talking about.
Oh my god, I've done about 100 now. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We're in. All right, let's start. Okay. It's always fatal to have music or poetry interrupted.
Nah, that's not me.
Not you? You sure?
Nah, that's not me. Nah.
All right, you got it. You got one. That was George Eliot.
Oh, was it?
It was George Eliot, yeah. All right, let's go in. So you got 1 point. Where we go in? One bee on its own is an insignificant insect, but together it's a magnificent mind.
That's me.
You got him?
That is me. That's me. I know the album as well.
Go on.
Deftones, Ums.
It was, yeah.
Yes.
What was I referring to? Do you remember?
I noticed in the lyrics he referenced honey like 4 times in a row on songs or something. and then I was thinking, this album has started. Have you heard the album?
Yeah, a huge Deftones fan, yeah.
It sounds like a wasp at the start. And I remember
filming
the review.
Yeah.
I filmed the review and I was going to say, oh, this sounds like a wasp. And I was like, stupid, leave it. And then I was bugging me. And then I heard references to honey. And then I started thinking about Ohm's Law, like as in the title of the album. And Ohm's Law is like, you can work out the amount of work in an electrical circuit. And then that just got me thinking about beehives. Because like, it's just like a circuit. They're all working together. And then I thought, something about bees here. Let's just chuck it in.
Gotta get it done. Well, you came up with that. Anyway, here we are. Right, what we got next? There are 2 means of refuge from the miseries of life: music and cats.
Nah, I hate cats. I would never have said that. I hate cats. No way.
Shouldn't have included the cats one. That was the giveaway.
Who was that?
That was Albert Schweitzer.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know who he is, but he's a philosopher.
I've never seen his running reviews. Oh, is he? Cool.
He used to get back on YouTube. Right. It's like a blanket being pulled across the night sky.
That was me.
That was you.
And that Ghostpoet.
Ghostpoet. Full mark so far. Again, is it coming to mind what you were talking about? A blanket being pulled across the night sky?
Yeah, there's weird keyboards and synths on the first 2 or 3 songs. And then they get taken out the mix totally. And then there's this weird, dark, like menacing keyboard line or bass line which just replaces it. And then I was like, oh my god, that is like someone's just covered the stars in the sky. Like you had these twinkling stars and they're just gone. It's just pure black. And then I said that, and then Ghostpoet sent me a message, and he said, like, amazing that you picked up on that, because that was one of the things I wanted to do, was to have this feeling of light going into the songs. And then I just wanted to get rid of it and just plunge the listener into this dark world.
Oh, wow.
So,
man, you nailed it. That must have been cool to get told that by Ghostpoet himself. Like,
yeah. Well, like, he got in touch with me after Lauren Laverne did a thing on Six Music, and
Yeah.
he sent me a message on Twitter, and he just said, "I love what you're doing. Let's go for a run together." So I was going to go to London for a run with him, and he sent me a message saying, "Look, I've had enough of London. It's doing my head in. I'm moving to Berlin." So he moved to Berlin. Yeah, and we kept in touch.
That.
We kept in touch, and because he loves running, he's a real good runner,
Right.
which I didn't know. I had no idea, and I said, "Oh look, I hope you don't mind, but I really want to run and review your album." And he was like, "Do it, but if you hate it, I'd be so pissed off." So yeah.
So you had to like that one.
I loved it anyway. I love Ghostpoet anyway. There was no
Yeah.
chance I wasn't gonna like it. But I
Yeah.
didn't even know he had a new album out. I think it came out just when lockdown started.
It did, yeah.
There were a few good albums that kind of got lost on it at the start.
Yeah.
And I think his, unfortunately, was one of them. I think something that could have been. I think if it came out now,
Yeah.
I think it'd be a much bigger album than it is, because it seems to talk about the world we're in now in a weird way.
It does a bit, yeah. I guess there were, more headline grabbing things going on at the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
The way it is. A couple more. Most people die with their music still locked up inside them.
Nah, it's not me.
No. I wanted to get you with just one of them. You're getting full marks so far.
Nah, it's not me.
I was Benjamin Disraeli.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Big fan of him.
Yeah, he's good. Let's go for some of the more silly ones. It's like you live in a cottage, you're having a new thatched roof put on, and the builders have put the scaffolding up in D minor.
That's me. That's me. That's me. That's Iron Maiden.
It is. Yeah. Number of the Beast. Where
Yeah,
did that come from?
Oh, it's the second song on the album. It's totally green sleeves. It just opens up in D minor, and I was like, "What?" Because the first, I'd never heard Iron Maiden, and up until that point, I'd realised I'd only ever heard the chorus, "The Run to the Hills" as well. I'd never heard the verse.
Oh, never.
And yeah, like when Run for the Hills came on, I was like, "What is this? This is awesome!"
Yeah.
And then I was like,
And then
"This
you
is Run
realised
for
what
the
it
Hills."
was.
Yeah, I'd only heard the chorus, so I don't know, like, if on nights out I'm absolutely smashed and my mind's just like, "Oh, I can't hear the music," and then I recognise the chorus, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know this song." But yeah, that second song just sounded like a scaffolding on a cottage
In D minor.
in D minor, making sad cups of tea.
Oh, funny. I was going to say something and I can't remember it now. What were you saying?
What was I saying?
Help me out.
I was saying loads of stuff. Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast.
Ah, that's what it was. About your you said you never heard Iron Maiden before.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's it's becoming like increasingly talked about, your like holes in musical knowledge. Like you'd never heard Iron Maiden, you'd never heard a Black Sabbath album and stuff. I feel like you're getting a bit slagged off a bit. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to like redeem yourself and tell us about something that you're like a master of that people might not know. The opposite.
Well, in the music world, or
Could be in the music world, or just in general. If there's something that comes to mind outside the music world, something that you've nailed that people are like, "Whoa, I would not have expected that."
cooking, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one hell of a chef.
Fair play. Did not know that.
Yeah. I worked as a chef for a little bit.
Oh, never. Is that pre-running or post-running?
It's probably been in the past 5 years.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So
Past
that's
5 years, yeah.
A recent thing.
Yeah, that and probably a Kendrick Lamar scholar,
Oh, wow.
like absolutely obsessed with Kendrick Lamar. What else is there? Scooter as well, grown-up scooters going around.
Oh, for a horrible second, I thought
the
you meant
band.
that. Yeah, it's like the Euro rave DJ.
No, but I'd probably say cooking is the one that people get surprised about.
That's your area, like, yeah.
That's my area, and poetry. I'm a massive, but I don't think people will be surprised by that. But I love, like, proper love poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite poem and then a favourite dish to make?
Oh, interesting. My favourite poem would probably be, it's quite a cheesy one, but possibly Song of Myself by Walt Whitman.
Oh, okay.
Um, anything by Emily Dickinson. There was a guy called, oh my God, I'm going to get his name wrong now. Peter Porter. Oh,
I can't
shit.
correct you. I don't know.
I think that was his name. Oh my God, my mind's gone totally blank. And he lived until he was like 90. He lived in the same house all his life. And he just wrote the most amazing poetry, like just amazing, in
Wow.
London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter
This
Porter,
one,
you reckon?
I'm sure it's Peter Porter. I'm sure it is.
He's going to Google it now.
It was like, I'm going to Google it. There's Strange News from Another Star, like my old band photo shoots, and I always hid a Peter Porter book in there. Yeah, Peter Porter. Yes, he's
Peter
amazing.
Porter. I'll have to check him out. Yeah, never even heard of him.
Yeah, he's so like, but you need to work hard to understand his poetry. That's what I love about it. You will literally have to Google. He just drops names in there, and you have to Google to find out who it is.
Right.
And then, like, and I'm a proper geek for that. I love piecing
Deep
together
diving
things
on
that,
poetry.
yeah, and lyrics and stuff. My dish, I don't know. What's my probably because it's quite an odd vegetable to stuff. A stuffed courgette.
Stuffed courgette.
Yeah.
Fair
I'm a
play.
fan of. I like to stuff a courgette. That's it.
I like to start all these episodes with little clips at the start, and that is definitely going to be one of the clips at the start. I like to stuff a courgette.
Yeah, but I really get off on stuffing courgettes with vegetables which are bigger than a courgette. So I will put an aubergine inside a courgette by
How
chopping
does that
it
even
up really
work?
small.
Oh, you just chop it up and chuck it in.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing. I like stuffing vegetables. I like doing stuffed vegetables.
Interesting. Weird. That doesn't, like, in my mind, that doesn't taste good. But you turn it around somehow, I'm guessing.
Look, if you mess up any meal, just cover it in balsamic vinegar and everything's all right.
That's the chef tip of the day.
That's one of the ones that, yeah, if it's a vegetable, you can just chuck balsamic vinegar on it. But I am like Frankenstein of vegetables. I like to reanimate them by stuffing them.
Give them new life.
Yes.
Class. I was looking if I've got any quotes that might actually get you. Well, I can't do it now because I've told you that it's not his. Oh well, we'll give up on that game. You just know your quotes too well. Fair play. Fair play.
I think I know them because they take so long to edit, and it's like I've probably heard every daft thing about 100 times.
Do you do all the editing yourself?
Making the final bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. It's the same on a podcast as well. Like I've just been thrown into the podcast world. It's just me doing it. And yeah, we're using a song by Exit International for the theme tune, and I hate it.
Yes,
already.
Which one?
Chainsaw Song.
I
used to love that song. I got, obviously, Sam Dab. I got her to message the band to make sure we could use it. I was like, yes, we can use Chainsaw Song, Happy Days. And then by the time I'd like looped it and lined it all up and edited it right, I never want to hear it again. Like, I'm just done.
I'm like that with Rebel Rebel by David Bowie.
Oh, yeah.
When I had my first proper smartphone, Rebel Rebel was my ringtone, and I used to get so many calls from people because I hadn't paid bills that whenever I hear Rebel Rebel, I feel really anxious.
Just get a panic attack, like.
Honestly, I'm like, what haven't I paid now? The bailiffs are coming again. Yeah.
Nightmare. Rebel. Well, we're coming to the end of our time together, I guess. I don't want to take up all of your evening. It's been proper fun.
That's all right. I hate my family. I talk all day.
I just wanted to know what does the future hold. We haven't even barely talked about your musical stuff. Like what? Because is the Vega Bodegas still a thing? Are you on to another band or what?
So I got a band called Vega Bodegas, who are my mates from school, plus a drummer who's too young to be. He's just too young to be a mate, but he's a mate. He's like a fake mate for the band. I'm joking. He is a real friend now. But
he is.
I'm not writing anything. Yeah, he's a proper mate now. But I'm not writing anything or. Nah, I don't know.
No?
Just see what happens.
So is running
No, I'm
punks kind
not.
of your focus for the future now going forward, do you think? For the immediate future at least?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's my full time job now.
Is it really? That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, it's my full time job. So I quit my job to do running punks. So it's kind of it's just taking over everything.
Yeah.
It's a proper like 10 hours a day job.
Never.
So,
So is it because
yeah,
you're doing the training plans as well, aren't you? Is that like what makes it a full-time job, or is it the reviews, or what? Like what's your main kind of thing?
it's it's a mixture of everything. It's the training plans. So like yesterday, I did 14 training plans. Uh,
14. Wow.
yeah, and I phone everybody. So I
Everyone
had
yourself, like it's not like you and your team, it's just you doing these things.
Yeah, I'll phone them. Yeah, I'll phone them. So like there's one in Melbourne. There's a lady in Massachusetts.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I done a training plan for a whole band in Sao Paulo in Brazil. Like four
Never.
guys in a band. Yeah, it's mad. So I was like FaceTiming them.
And have these people all like found you and got in contact with you, yeah?
Yeah, so like the way it happens is a running review will go up, and like if the band retweet it, then running punks will get exposed to like a new audience. So
Right.
like got Sub Pop retweeted the Mets one yesterday.
Ah,
So you
right.
just notice that like if you're a fan of a band and you see someone run into their album, they'll get in touch with you and be like, A, you love my album. B, you look like an awesome runner. C, can I run like you? So it's like you just have a conversation with someone and then you just say they'll talk about running and you just say, oh, I'm not doing a hard sell, but I can do your training plan if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so yesterday was a day full of them. Like it was just
14 in one
14
day.
of them. I went to bed. Yeah, I went to bed at like 1 in the morning. And I've got 7 to do today. So
That's crazy. Have Mets got in touch with you at all yet from that retweet, the review and stuff?
yes,
Because that's a
yeah.
class album. That the new album, Atlas Vending, class. Like if any of the boys from Mets are listening, get on a podcast because the new album's amazing.
Yes. Oh no, it was Touche Mori who sent me a message. The drummer's a runner in Touche Mori, so
Oh right, yeah, yeah,
you need to join Running Punks. Like, but they seem cool. They were up for me to do the review and stuff. So yeah, they seem cool.
yeah. Happy
But
days, man.
that album is punishing, isn't it?
It is. It's like non-stop. Yeah, it's got it builds up in the intro, and then from there, it's just
yeah,
mental.
yeah. And honestly, like I listened to it when I was running, and it made me run like a maniac. And then there was so much footage I couldn't use when I edited it because you couldn't understand what I was saying. I was spitting everywhere, and I was just thinking, what is wrong? Like, what's up with me today? Why am I so feral? What is going on? And then I edited the video, and I had like 25 minutes of footage, and I got it down to like 9 minutes by just like I was like, that's got to go, that's got to
Just
go, that's
brutal
got to
editing.
go. I was insane, and I was like, fuck, like what's wrong with me today? So then I listened to the album, and then like listened to it for the second time, and I was like, it wasn't me, it's his album. Like it was just, it was denting my skull. I can't. I've listened to it a few times. I can't understand how they've made it so heavy. I
No,
really can't. I
yeah.
can't understand it.
I'd only heard a few of their songs before this album, but yeah, they seem to have taken it to like a whole new level.
It's mad. It's like there's one song, and the intro is it's like a double track guitar, and then the drums are coming in, and that on his own is super heavy. Like, what is going on
I
here?
know.
Like,
And then yeah, it
how is
just
his
goes
album?
from
It's
there.
just pounding. Yes, yeah, and but it does these amazing things where he's so like expressive with his guitar playing, isn't he? And you can tell like his playing is super physical, but there's like transformations happening where really like stabbing and jarring guitar lines were becoming quite heavenly by the end of the song. To me, I was like, guitar parts are acting like backing vocals on bits, and honestly,
Yeah, they pulled it out the bag. Fair play to them. Yeah.
yeah, I've never heard a full album before that of them.
Is this the debut album? It's not, is it? There's one more before this?
It's a third one or
Is it
something.
really? Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I have to check out their back catalogue. I got a whole treasure trove there now. Happy days.
Yeah, yeah. The one before this was done with Steve Albini. I don't know who did this
Oh
one. I
yeah.
am looked. I
This
am looked.
one sounds like it could have been done with Steve Albini, to be honest. It's got that kind of, like you were saying, like
Yeah,
stabby kind of jarring vibes. Who knows? I don't know.
yeah. It's brutal, though. It's
Yeah.
brutal.
While we're on the topic of music, you would like. I feel like we haven't even talked about your musical career very much. Your
Because it sucks. It sucks compared to my running. One.
oh well, in comparison, but yeah, that's because you went to the World Champions with your running.
Yeah.
I feel like you've climbed two peaks that 90% of people don't even come close to climbing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
would you trade the success that you've had in either one of those peaks to have got the top of one of them? So to like headline Madison Square Garden in exchange for your running career, or win an Olympic gold in exchange for your musical career? Like, would you do
Oh,
that or not?
interesting. Athletics all the way. The running all the way.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Ah,
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. I know because I know on the podcast already I've spoken about the importance of art and albums that speak a lot about what it is to be human. Personally, I don't think I could ever create something like that. I just don't think I could do it. So, like, achieving musical highs, like playing big gigs or headlining Glastonbury, to me doesn't mean anything because unless you're going to be saying something. So
interesting.
I don't think I could ever do that. I don't think I could do that. But running, I think running offers so much more, and like to achieve something like winning the Olympics or something would be something that just
It would mean so much to you.
yeah, exactly, and it's like a real personal achievement. But nah, I don't know. I would just feel like a con if I headlined a massive festival and my music didn't contribute anything to questions of what it is to be a human.
But is that just you though? Like,
So
surely it's in the ears of the listener as well, though. Like, if you put something out and like I don't know, millions of people consider it to be this amazing thing, then it's out of your hands, isn't it? That's not. It's not up to you
that's
then.
true. That's true. Then I would definitely headline a festival in double denim, drinking a massive bottle of whiskey, yeah. And then I set fire to my
And a
head.
tie dye
I would
running
love
punks
it.
t-shirt.
Yes, yes, that's it. No, I think athletics for me, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. That's cool. Because you said I can't remember where I was reading it or listening to it or something, but you said that you don't regret ending running when you did. And,
Yeah,
like you appreciated your rock and roll journey as well, kind of thing.
yeah, totally. It's like it feels like the running ended, and it was a decision I made to end it. And it took me a lot of years to get over that decision. And I think music, in a way, and the whole experience of being in bands existed as a way for me to get over the running. So, in a way, like the music and what I did in bands would never mean as much as what the running did for me because I don't know, it's almost as if like I had to consume that time in bands to appreciate what I did as an athlete. And I think if I just ended running and then I went and worked in an office, I wouldn't have like been appreciative of what I did as a runner. I would have like always looked at it with like, oh, what have I done? I've swapped it for something I shouldn't have done. I should have stuck with running. But I can just look
Yeah,
at two things I've always wanted to do as a kid, which was like be in a band and be a runner, and just think, look, I gave both of them a go, and it's made me more proud of running, and I'm glad I stuck to running as long as I did. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if
Managed
that
to
makes
tick
any
both of those
sense.
boxes.
Yeah, I don't know if
No.
that makes any sense, but like they both have to exist for me to like appreciate each other. Basically, if I spent my life being in bands, I probably wouldn't appreciate it, and if I just spent my life as a runner, I wouldn't appreciate it. But by
Yeah.
doing two totally different things, I can think, well, I don't regret ending running when I did, but it would have been nice to carry on and maybe see what
It's pretty
happens.
mental though that you had those two separate journeys, and then now you've just managed to combine them. Like you've
Yeah,
completely married music and running together, come
yeah,
full circle almost.
it's mad, and it's like it's more than even just the running and music. It's more just like the years I worked as a TV runner, making teas and coffees for people. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
just feel like hanging out on sets kind of made me know how to be around with a camera, even if it's just your own with a GoPro. Um,
right.
like hanging out with people, like finding out how you edit stuff, has taught me that. it just feels like loads of stuff has just come together. I know on the surface it feels like music and running, but there's like so much more there for me. Like my degree in literature is there, cause, like,
Right.
you know, and it's like this really does feel like everything I've done so far in my life has come together now, which is
Led to this moment.
Yeah, this is my moment.
Amazing. So tell the people how they find out more about this moment then. Where can you find more running punks, more running reviews? Like how can people get involved?
So yes, please get involved. Look for Running Punks. We've got our own website, runningpunks.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as Running Punks. I'm on Twitter as Biggie Timkins. Before the lockdown, I was Little Timkins, but I have become Biggie Timkins. I've graduated. Just find us. I've evolved. Just find us and just send me your musical recommendations. That's one thing I've learned doing all this, is that listen to people's recommendations. I went so long without listening to people's recommendations, and that's why I missed out on stuff like Dead Kennedys, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, just because people recommend them, and I just ignored it. So like, when I knew I was going to chat to you, I brought a pen and paper just in case you recommended anything. I've got your name there.
Oh, I didn't know. I got my own page in the book and I didn't even recommend anything.
I know, man.
Oh.
That's the biggest thing I've learned is, honestly, like, if someone recommends something for you, do it. Like, whatever it is.
Put me on the spot now.
Go on, give me.
I'm going to check my Spotify. I'll check my Spotify. What have I been listening
Give me some
to at the
albums.
moment? It's going to be something embarrassing now, isn't it? The new Viagra Boys song is class. Ever listen to Viagra Boys?
Oh yeah, I love them.
So good. Heard their new song, Ain't Nice, yeah?
I haven't. No, I'll check that out.
Released it on Friday, yeah. That's class, that is. Yeah, so that'd be my recommendation. Just before we end then, what's next for Running Punks? Or what's next for the Running Reviews? Are you going to give a world exclusive to what you're going to review next?
I think there's definitely going to have to be a Van Halen one.
Ah, of course, yeah. Tribute to Eddie.
I never heard anything by Eddie Van Halen apart from Jump.
Standard, yeah.
And then I'm going to do a week of Welsh stuff.
Oh, okay. Like modern Welsh stuff, yeah?
Yeah, stuff that I think that's
no
when
Tom Jones, is it?
Nah, no Tom Jones. I'm going to start doing stuff by Welsh bands that I have heard, because I feel like it would be good just to get that out there, more people listening to it. So I'm going to do a week of Welsh stuff, and then probably like stuff I've heard for December. I'll just do like the greatest hits, my favorite albums in December.
Yeah, awesome.
And then I've got 2 weeks coming up because we've got another baby due in 3 weeks' time, so I'm going to take a few weeks off as well.
That makes sense. Wicked.
So I'll be looking for people to do running reviews if you fancy doing one.
Oh, I'd be well up for it. I'm not even joking.
Yeah?
I'd do one for sure. Yeah.
All right, yeah,
I was gutted because I saw your you went out and ran with what's his name? The drummer from Idols.
Oh, John, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I want to do that. That'd be sick if we do the podcast out running kind of thing. And then I got stuck in Philly on lockdown. So
let's do it, man. Like let's do something together, because BBC approached me for to be on an episode or something, and I was like, yeah, I'm up for it, but then at the same time I think it's just going to be rubbish because it's BBC, and I kind of don't want someone to take over it and do it their own way. So
right,
we're really thinking about taking Running Punks forward as a YouTube channel and doing stuff like that. Just getting on the road and just meeting people and interviewing them while we're running marathons in random towns and cities, and just so definitely, man. I'd love to have you on board if you want to get involved in that. We
Happy
can
days.
do something.
100%, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Send me a message. Right. Let me know what I've got to review, and I'll do it. Yeah, happy days.
Yes, do it, man, do it.
Nice one. Well, cheers for your time tonight. It has been class, and
no problem.
Good luck with the rest of Running Reviews, Running Punks, and for your baby in the future as well.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, man. I'll speak to you soon.
See you later. Ta-ra, bye. Bye.